Take two. Take two. So collective, clearly put. They clearly don't want this message getting out. They're probably watching right now. And I'm gonna just continue doing this until the message gets out. Clearly there's something I'm saying that somebody doesn't like. So I have a feeling that they're gonna go and they're gonna report my fucking video. Right? Is that what it is? YouTube, FBI, the CIA, police, whoever you want to watch, you know, you guys can watch and watch it in the fucking happening. Okay? Clearly, what I'm picking up on in energy is actually happening out in the real world. Otherwise, I wouldn't be picking it up in the cards. I got no smoke with the authorities. And quite frankly, I would be willing to work with them. Because I'm fed up. I'm on the good guys team. I've always been on the good guys team. They've all been trying to take me over to the bad side, and I don't want to go. I don't want to be on the bad side. I don't want to be on the bad team. I want nothing to do with the bad team. I want nothing to do with the dark side. I'm just going to call out, I'm not going to call him out by name, but there was an individual that I hid in the last live for coming in to say that if I knew the future, which they totally have no fucking clue as to what they're talking about. If I didn't, if I knew the future, that I wouldn't have to come on here and ask for donations. If I knew the future. And just for all of you fucking smartasses out there that think that they know it all and they, you know, they think that they figured it out and all that, it doesn't work that way. Okay? Most people that see numbers, they see numbers. 9 times out of 10, if you're seeing numbers, it's an angel number. Has nothing to do with a lottery. Okay? These people that thinking that they're getting lottery numbers, you're still working up into a system. Okay? So whether they give you the right numbers or not, whether you do, you know, you're more apt to do the numbers spiritually than anything else and have some sort of a spiritual connection to the numbers that you play compared to the numbers that, you know, somebody might just give you one day. And there'd be a heck of a lot more rich people in the world had we been able to do that to begin with. So that verifies what I'm talking about. So it doesn't fucking work that way. And it sure as hell doesn't work that way when I've been fighting for my life, trying to do it in a classy way, and I'm trying to get up over my challenges that I've been dealing with as a personal, on a personal basis. I'm trying to heal from a toxic relationship. I'm trying to heal from a toxic family. I'm trying to heal from a toxic world that all want to say that I'm dysregulated for feeling the way that I feel when it's the world that's fucking toxic. And that's the thing, that's the big message that I'm trying to bring out here, collective. A lot of us are just fine. We're just sensitive, and we can't take no much more of the bullshit going on. That is what the imbalance is. We shouldn't have to take a pill for that. Our realities should be able to morph and change into something beautiful, so that way we're not having to worry about that imbalance. And it takes people's intention. It takes what people show up with to make it or break it. And the people that show up in your life to break you down, to diminish you, are toxic. The people there that are trying to build you up, that are trying to empower you, those are the ones you need to stick by, because that's your tribe. The ones that are going to tell you the truth and not try to deceive you, that's your tribe. I speak from the heart, I speak from the soul when I come on here. Shallow people don't like my channel. I guarantee it. And shallow people are pretty well insignificant. Mainly put, I don't have time to come on here and give out a load of bullshit. I don't have time in my day. I don't even have the patience or the time in the day to waste fucking time producing bullshit. I would rather do nothing at all and stay in meditation than lower my IQ by dealing with low vibrational bullshit. People wonder, oh, what do you do with your time all day, Aiden? You know what? I've been living in isolation, in spiritual protection for the last 2.5 years. All I've been trying to do is complete my healing so that way I can rise above this shit. And I've been relentlessly attacked. So do I vibe with this message today? Yes, I vibe with this message. It's taken me 40 years to realize that maybe I am an earth angel. It's taken me 40 years to maybe wrap around my fucking head that I'm a spiritual mediator, that I'm a shaman. And some people don't think that I deserve to stand there in that energy and in that light. I was called to come here and speak. And clearly there's been words of wisdom. I know I've saved lives. I know I've lifted people up out of the pits of hell. I've done it many times. I've even done it for those that didn't deserve it. I feel like with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but different scenario. More on a spiritual basis rather than a vampiric. Well, maybe vampiric, considering all the sociopaths and the narcissists and the fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs I've had to deal with. When I can't even come on the video here and talk words without something happening. So this is proof, if you needed any, about absolutely everything that I have any type of joy in. Okay? Anything that I have joy in, it's being ripped apart. To the point where I don't have any happiness. I'm not allowed to have a job. I'm not allowed to have a home. I need to be in a ditch dead somewhere. And that's the truth. And then they'll be finally happy with me. And the thing is they sit here cloaked, thinking that they're going to get away with it. They might be cloaked to me, but they're not cloaked to the divine. And the divine gives them life. The divine chooses whether or not they stay alive or dead. And the divine is coming to a precipice with them right now at this time. You either shake up and show up right, or you don't show up at all. And you will cease and fail to exist. This person, whoever it is, has been given many, many chances to right their wrongs. And this has been going on for decades. And instead of being courageous, they would sooner be a coward and hide behind cloaking to try to destroy you. I'm pretty well solving my own case on my channel. The proof is in the last 2 years of my channel. So this is my journal entry. This is my video log. And this is why they're trying to shut me down. Because everything that I've gone through in my life has pretty well come out in the cards. So it might not tell me the lottery numbers, but sure as hell confirms of what I'm going through, so I may not feel so fucking crazy. And Spirit led me to do this on YouTube. And that's why I'm here. I could have picked any other. I could have went on the TikTok. I could have did it on the Facebook. I could have did it on the Instagram. But I chose YouTube. And not because it's one of the biggest platforms in the world, but because I felt I could trust it. I had a lot of faith in YouTube. But it's gradually dwindling, and I'm really sad about that. I think that's the most sadness I have right now in me right now, is the fact that I feel betrayed, yet again. Because all I'm trying to do is express some truth and empower the fucking humanity into something beautiful for those that want to listen And I can't even do that. Apparently I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to have a job to sustain myself. I'm not allowed to have a house. I'm not allowed to have land. I'm not allowed to have anything. I'm supposed to be destitute in a ditch. I'm not even allowed to beg for donations, apparently. Right? I'm not even allowed to beg for help. I should just shut the fuck up. I just shut my mouth. And you want to know why I think it has something to do with my family? Because I haven't heard a fucking peep from them. Even just to say sorry or apologize or even just say anything for that matter. Why? Because they've all discarded me. Because they're all toxic. Because I see it for the truth. I'm on here spreading truth, enlightening everyone about my experience, so that way you can empower yourself too. I was born into this life with a compassionate heart, and I will leave this life with a compassionate heart. And nothing will cause a stray of that. As many times as many people think that they're going to break me down and break my heart and shatter it to pieces, I'm becoming wise to your stupid ass fucking shattering games. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I hope my channel's being investigated. And I hope the fuck they're tapping my phone. And I hope the hell they have all my contacts and they've been investigating into this whole thing. Because I know there's certain contenders that have come into my life. And chances are quite a few of them are going to be investigated. If they not already are. And I hope they find the truth. Because the defamation on my character, to try to ruin me and disqualify me from what's destiny for me, what I'm being called to do, will always be for me. It will always have my fucking name on it. And there's not a soul out there that's going to tell me otherwise. Because I know what I stand for. I stand for justice. I stand for integrity. I stand for quality, nobility, authenticity. The reason why I stay to myself is because, you know what? I don't want to wear no mask to mask how I really feel. The rage that I have within myself. I don't want to have to rage out. So I go and I play video games. I go and I play multiplayer. That's how I transmute it. And you know what? There's a lot of times that I go and I play multiplayer and I'm humbled to bits. And that's quite alright, because it keeps me humble. So all these dumbasses thinking that, you know, there's some sort of ego going on, it's not the case. I keep my ego in check. And it's taken me my whole life to find confidence in myself. Despite my dental situation. And I know the whole dental situation was another sabotage. Because had I not went to the dentist to begin with, I'd still have teeth. I know that, deep in my soul. So somebody's trying to get money out of me and make money off of me by destroying my smile. To try and ruin my self-worth? To try and destroy me? Oh, why would they want to destroy you, Aiden? Because my grandma left me a whole hell of a lot of money and they took it for themselves. And they're jealous and envious and butthurt at the fact that they were supposed to get nothing. And I was supposed to be the one helping the family. But instead they kept it for themselves and they blew it. You want to know some truth? And my inheritance, I get a place to be buried in the cemetery. That's what I get for my inheritance. My burial is already planned. Is that not just a little bit creepy? Considering somebody wants me dead in a ditch? Collective, you've been guided by the supernatural. So that's what they felt that they needed to use against you in order to take away your protection. Not realizing your rank. And you know what's interesting, Collective? A lot of these people that threw roadblocks in your way all these years, okay? The Divine transmuted it into a lesson for you. To recognize how people show up. It doesn't matter if they're blood. It doesn't matter if they are in service form. It does not, like, servicemen, doctors, lawyers, dentists. It doesn't matter what fucking cloak they wear. Be discerning as to how people show up to you. Because there's good and there's bad in every group. You can't always paint, you can't paint them all with one brush. But it's good to be discerning as to who you go to and who you interact with. And that's one big thing that I've learned in my 41 years of life, 42 years of life. I've had no other choice but to open up my eyes. After being isolated in the hospital, thinking I could trust doctors, thinking I could trust the hospital with my life. I can't trust them with my life. One of my biggest traumas in my whole existence was dealing with the hospital. So how am I supposed to trust the hospital? I get totally betrayed by my dentist. How am I supposed to trust a dentist? You know, I've since compromised and I've since reconciled and I've got myself a doctor and I've got myself a dentist. But whoever is this sabotaging my life has had me, keeps me moving. To the point where now I have to be consulted by email because I'm too far away, because I'm constantly running for my life, trying to find stability. Oh, well, stop running. Yeah, okay, stop running. Yeah, okay, so they find out where I am, and then they sabotage wherever I am. They start planting seeds in people's heads. They get to know who I'm interacting with, and they infiltrate those relationships. And they think that I don't know. And if they don't do it physically, they do it spiritually. So anything that I have, anything close to my heart, is affected. So anything I love is destroyed. Anything I have that I have any type of joy towards is literally destroyed. Right down to my guitar. Right down to my channel. Because I'm finally making headway. Despite the numbers, I'm finally making headway. And as far as I know, from the beginning to now, I've always made headway. I've always made headway. I've always made a spot for myself. Most of the records have already been incinerated. So there's no proof. They're sure to get rid of the proof. So that way there's no liability, clearly. But somehow I'm just supposed to sit here and suffer. I've shut down companies because of the shit that they did. I've worked at companies just before they closed down. Okay? And it's almost as if how they treat me is what dishes out their karma. It just seems to be that way. And if they don't shut down, it's almost like they go through a dark night of the soul as a company. So I know there's something bigger going on. Because I see a pattern. Throughout my life, I see a pattern. And people think that I'm a person of destruction when I'm actually a person of transformation. Because if you're in a good intention, if you have something of a solid foundation, I can turn around and take a house and make it a home. I have that quality because I'm in touch with my masculine and my feminine. I can tap into my feminine energy or my masculine energy equally. I can be protective and compassionate all at the same time. And this is what I've been trying to teach here on the channel. That you can step into this alignment as well. And people are trying to test me on it. People are trying to make me look like I just don't know what the hell I'm talking about when their opinion is absolutely insignificant. Because I clearly don't give a fuck if they can't wrap their head around what I talk about. I've got no spoons. Anybody that's going to go in and try to diminish me from what I've already assessed of my own self and my own life, maybe I should have died in my fucking car. Maybe the heat should have taken me. But the divine had other plans. That's why I'm here. I've been guided by the divine since then. Spring of 2023. Maybe 2023, 2024, but I think 2023. It's all a blur at this point. And the fact that I've survived this long, and people think they're going to confuse me, I've got a direct fucking line to the divine. And I'm not being swayed. whoever these people think they are, that are cloaking themselves, thinking they're getting away with this, they're sadly mistaken. I might talk about my family, I might talk about my ex, I might talk about that. Other than that, I don't put names on my channel. I talk energy. Because I know I know there's other people going through the same shit that I'm going through. I know I'm not the only one. I'm calling it the fuck out. So if you're triggered by my content, good. I hope it fucking helps you heal. I hope it helps you recognize what a fucking pompous piece of shit you are. And it puts you in a humbling place to actually open your fucking heart to compassion instead of sabotage, hate, and envy. Because I'm sick of your shit. I don't give a fuck what your name is. You are the problem with the world. Okay? You are the problem with the world. You are the fucking problem with the status quo right now. Because of your greed and selfishness. And your karmic ass bullshit. And you know what? There's way too much fucking damage done to place blame on anyone. It's about personal accountability. And that's what it comes down to. And this is why I speak out on it. Because it's not about my ex. It's not about my fucking toxic family. It's not about the toxic ass individuals that are walking the streets. Okay? It's not about them. It's about my own accountability. How do I show up? How do I react to that? Am I going to react to it? Or am I going to just stand back, take a step back, and actually recognize it? And I'm recognizing it. I'm witnessing it as an observer, and I'm calling it the fuck out. And that's what I'm coming on here for. I've tried to do it in a creative way. I've tried to allow the cards to tell the story. And the thing is, the wisdom and the light that I hold, okay, as well as what I was supposed to do here, paramounts and outshines absolutely every single thing anyone I've ever had in my family or anything that they've ever produced or created. I'm at the point of outshining my whole family. I'm at the point of outshining a lot of my fucking adversaries. A lot of the people that were envious to start with. And I keep trudging along. By divine accordance. Because I would have been dead. Already. I was even stopped from even offing myself. To that degree. All the while guided by the divine. No, the divine did not tell me to off myself. For the fuckheads that actually think that's what I'm talking about. No. The divine steered me away from it. The divine steered me towards the light. The divine has never betrayed me. That's why there's unconditional love there. Because if it wasn't for the divine healing my heart, I don't think I'd be sitting here giving a fuck what anybody thinks. I think I'd be bitter. And I wouldn't be on here trying to empower people. I wouldn't be on here calling shit out for what it is. I'd be on here being bitter and being toxic and being an absolute menace to society. But I realized a long time ago, it's how you show up in the world that makes a difference. And the way people are showing up, going out and shooting people and robbing people and doing all this shit, I know this is your war cry. I know you're feeling helpless. I know it's fucking chaos. And you don't know how to express yourself. You're better off sitting in meditation than going out with a gun. You're better off getting yourself out of this autopilot and go for a swim. Go do something for your betterment rather than your demise. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? God gave you the discernment and the brain to articulate the karmic streets taught me how to be a fucking warrior. But my grandma, she taught me how to be compassionate and loving. Together, here I am. Been around, I've seen a bunch of shit. Shit don't surprise me anymore. It doesn't surprise me anymore. How we show up in the world, it matters. With tonight's conversation the way it is, I've only got 12 in the chat. I should have at least 30, 40 people in the chat. I asked the 8 Ball on Friday, I says, am I going live? And it says, yeah. And then it's like, okay, so is it going to be a good live? And not so good. It's like, okay, am I just going to get shadow banned? And they're like, pretty much. So it's like, okay, well then fine, I'll just take the weekend off. Flip the fucking table on their asses. And start fresh on Monday. And I still had a degenerate come in talking shit. And then my live got cut. I had to start it over. So this is the second live. I don't know if I deleted the last one or not. It is what it is. So I'm being totally sidetracked. I'm being totally side-railed for this whole message. So we're going to get a vibe check. We're going to say, fuck this, fuck that, fuck their fucking hat, and we're going to go into it anyway. And if I'm going to save this live, it'll be just here. It'll be doing me like, you know, it'll be doing like a whole thing here, right? So first off, I just want to say thank you to my supporters. Thank you for keeping me going. Thank you for helping me to continue to rise. You are my checkmates. You are part of my miracle. To all my members, I love you, and I thank you for the support. I'm doing my best to stay present and to support you as well. Okay? I'm doing my best with what I have available at this time. I am looking into other options for stuff. I'm not talking about it because fuck that noise. I'm not going to mention fuck all. Cosmic Court is in session. Alright, so as far as the supernatural means of what they're doing to tear your protection down, let's get a clarification on that, Spirit, please. Yeah, so whatever they're doing, they're not doing it anymore. Okay, and I think this is coming back. I'm being brought back to the 404 error message angel number. Okay. They can't do it anymore. They could have been bound. Yeah, there's no gossip, there's no rumors, they're not being nosy anymore. They can't do it. They're blocked out. Right? It could be a masculine energy, or it very well could be that you are very disciplined. You very well could be taking authority over this situation. Okay, you might have put some boundaries up. You're taking control over the situation. And you've stepped into a higher rank, collective. So with this supernatural, like the supernatural has been on your side. Okay, you've got many different faucets of energy protecting you at this time. Okay, and you don't talk about these protections. And there's even protections you're not even aware of that protect you. I'm being told and called to say that. Okay, but these are good protective spirits that you're not even really aware of. They're just there, and they support you. They stand with you, with who you are, what you stand with integrity, right? And they're trying to lower your nobility. They're trying to lower your integrity, these karmics, right? They're trying to diminish you in the eyes of the divine, right? They're thinking that you're not going to have standards. They're thinking that they're going to try to bust through your standards and get you to live a particular situation or event, and that, like, they're really sick and disgusting people. Whoever these people are behind the scenes that are cloaking themselves, they're disgusting. They're sadistic. Okay? Like, sadistic. But anyway, they've been disconnected because you've taken authority of the situation, okay? Or there very well could be there very well could be an investigation going on as well, is what I'm picking up on with this. And again, the divine has seen everything. The supernatural side that rocks with you, they've seen everything. All right? So I think these people are receiving karma. Okay, so there's some sort of a masculine energy that's wanting intimacy with you, mutual respect, unity, closeness. And I think this is the person you friend-zoned. Okay? Yeah, and they don't want to face some sort of consequences and bad choices that they made in the games they played, the mixed signals. They don't want to face those consequences. So they're coming in with some sort of an intimacy to replenish some sort of connection. Okay? That's the whole thing. Right? Because you're taking control of the situation. They're trying to get the upper hand by coming in with some sort of intimacy and mutual respect. Because they don't want to face the consequences of what's been going on. All right? And I have a feeling the supernatural side has been on their case because of this. So they're thinking that if they come at it with a more intimate aspect, that they're going to be allowed into your energy. Right? So little do they know that The divine knows what their intention is. Okay? They do not have protection. And they know that because they're being hit hard. Okay? They're getting hit hard right now for what they did. Okay? Trying to pull you back into the shadow because they're very karmic individuals. That's why. They're very karmic individuals. They want you to be in your karmic energy. They want you over on the dark side with them. Right? But they're trying to distract you so you don't get the message out. They're trying to take away your harmony and your balance and your peace. Is there anything more about this supernatural card? Yep. Psychopath in reverse, wishful thinking for a second chance. You cut this psychopath out of your life. Okay? There is no second chances with this motherfucker. Okay? And they're salty about it. I can't make this shit up, collective. They're salty as fuck that they don't get a second chance to break your heart. And they thought by coming in with intimacy that it was going to do it again. But they were coming in to do something very, very heinous to you. Okay? This person is at a distance from you right now. And when they were with you, there might have been some sort of clinginess. They may have said something about some sort of feeling trapped, but they weren't. They knew they weren't. They were using it as an excuse. This whole idea of separating from you and putting distance was to get you to act out a character. But instead, you took time out for you, and you realized that it was a dead-end relationship. It wasn't going to amount to anything. Yeah, so they want you to unblock them so they can apologize to you. They're going around saying that that you're isolating yourself. Okay? But there is no reunion here. There's the fact that you don't want to talk to them ever again. You're not missing them. You want nothing to do with these individuals. They're insignificant to you. Meanwhile, they're trying to destroy you and keep you in isolation. That's okay. The divine just keeps upgrading you. And they're going to be shattered at the fact that you're coming out of isolation soon. They're going to be shattered. Why? Because all the shit that they tried to do, all those days, all those weeks, all those months, attacking you energetically and like putting hits out for you and to sabotage everything and all the calls they made and all this shit, it's all for nothing. They're an absolute epic failure, collective. They're degenerate. And they should have minded their own fucking business and focused on their own life. They've spent so much time focusing on you and your demise that they've lost track of their life, and they've even lost track of who they are. Coming for you. Because that's what they wanted for you. They wanted you to lose yourself. Masculine energy, authority, discipline, father figure. Yeah, you took control of this and cut out the toxic bullshit. Okay? Alright, what's the protection reversed? What's protection reversed? Archangel Michael's taking action. Yeah. Whew. Okay, so whoever you are, whoever's trying to think that they're taking away your protection, okay? Whoever's, like, this person, I'm really picking up on, they used to be tight with Archangel Michael, okay? They used to talk up Archangel Michael a lot, as if whatever, so that could be significant, right? That they're tied in with Archangel Michael, da-da-da-da-da, all right? Archangel Michael don't fucking like this person. Not happy. Okay? To the extent that they're losing protection. Archangel Michael's not messing with them anymore. They're done. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because they're focusing on people of divine energy. So these karmics thinking that they're gonna be holding off the backs of angels, it's not happening anymore. Angels are too fucking busy for you. Do you understand? Because you don't want to heal. You do not want to do the work. The angels are stepping up for the ones that actually are stepping into their divine energy, and they actually need the protection from you. Okay? And this is how the new earth is going to be formed. It's because all the karmics, they're losing their protection. And this is why the last will be first and the first will be last. Okay? Because the ones that were always left behind, they're going up to the front of the fucking line. The ones that were abused and tried to take down, but they've been relentless in their resilience, and they've continued to empower themselves and do the work and show up in a compassionate way. These are the ones that Archangel Michael's going to rock with. And this is why in the last year and a half, 2 years of my channel, I've been saying, focus on showing up in a way of humility, authenticity, and respect, and unconditional love. And clear out any trauma, any pain that you got going on. Transmute it into power. Transmute it into courage and confidence. The ones that were listening, I was stating this at my last live, the ones that were listening, the situation is that, you know what, had I not done the work, I wouldn't have made it through this shift. Had I been my old self, the old people pleaser, broken, submissive self, like almost a basket case, I wouldn't have made it through this shift. All thanks to the divine. And that just in itself proves, it's the proof in the pudding as to how I've been guided the last 3 years. My whole life, really. But my great awakening, I would say, the last 3 years. But I had to go through all of that previous in order to come to this point of understanding. I was already awakened before my great awakening. It's almost as if I've already gone through my dark nights of the soul, plural, and I've come to the precipice of my ascension, and somebody's trying to pull me back down into another dark night of the soul over and over and over again, so I don't ascend into this ascension, which I'm already ascending. Too fucking late for you. But under this situation, Archangel Michael's focusing on divine energy. Okay? Because the people that have been doing the work, that have been in hermit mode, that have been in isolation, a divine isolation, okay? Spiritual protective services. These people are coming out of isolation. They're no longer rejected. They are no longer being left alone. They are no longer being self-inflicted. They are going to be seen. They are going to be acknowledged. And they are going to be nurtured and revered. This isn't worshiping an idol. This is celebrating warriors, overcoming major shadow work. Okay, the people that are doing the healing, they are the ones that are going to do, that are going to be getting the protection from now on. What's the shaman reverse? So the clingy, old ex, dead relationships, old ways is on its side. So that might be a challenge. Suffering in silence, unspoken desires, real feelings, broken dreams. So somebody wanted you suffering in silence and staying in your shadow. Okay? Blood ties, inner circle, family in reverse. So in essence, yeah, it could very well be your family that you walked away from wanted you suffering in silence, right? And they ended up tapping into some sort of old relationships, or they are the ones that created these situations with old relationships. There was people that were brought into your existence to break you down. You're no longer cautious, insecure, or guarded. You see it for what it is. Okay? It's come to light as to why everything has happened the way that it is. Like, they can't hide it. It's being illuminated. And Spirit wants you to persevere through this shadow work because it's going to bring you enlightenment. Okay? Yes, it's painful. And there's certain things that have been blocked out because it was so devastating. But the Divine's been trickling all that back in. So you have a slight realization at a time. To have that all throw at you all at once. So the Divine's been trickling it in a little bit at a time. Memories, things that were said. But the fact that they're bringing you back there, you're no longer that age. You're an adult now. You see things from a different light. And this is the big point that I'm making when you're going through your healing. You're looking at it from an adult perspective. You're not looking at it from the age that you were. And this is why it gives you the option and the ability to show compassion to your inner child. Okay, this is you showing up for your younger version of yourself. And empowering them and said, you know what, we did good. With what we had to deal with, we did good. Despite it all. And this is the big message in your healing. And this is what kept me moving. This is what kept me going, because I was able to interact with my inner child, my inner teenager, my inner adolescent. I got to go back to those different memories and be like, okay, well, what could I have done differently in this situation? Even the abuse. Because now we've got higher standards. Now we have a higher awareness. We have more wisdom. We may have seen where we went wrong. We may have repented. And there is a bit of a repentance with that. Taking accountability. Divine accountability is a very healing experience. And the thing is, it can happen right now. But most of the karmics are screaming in the other direction. And it's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. It's a shake your head moment. Recognizing that these karmics, they do actually have a possibility to heal. But they're too much of a fucking coward to realize it. Shame is an actual good feeling to feel. You know how many years I felt shame and I shouldn't have carried it? Shame absolutely destroyed my life, but it kept me humble too. People would have rather I hold their shame as a scapegoat. Than take accountability for their shit. So they wanted you suffering in silence, not being able to do the shadow work. But the Divine had other plans, collective. The Divine took that isolation that they were trying to isolate you with and turn it into a rebirth. And you know what? These people worked hard to bring you to your demise. They're exhausted. They're burnt the fuck out. For good reason. They gave it their all, and they still failed. They got people to come up against you in groups, and they still failed. Message. Messenger. Reversed. Okay. I'm only taking that one because it jumped. Yeah, you're no longer confused. And this is somebody that you don't have closeness with anymore. You're not in a unity kind of energy. There's no mutual respect here. And this is the person that wants you to shut up. This is the person that doesn't want you to have a voice. Because you're not confused anymore. You know exactly what's going on. You see things for what it is. You're not sugarcoating shit. If you're new here, check out the description box. If you would like a personal reading, all the links are there and in the link section. If you want to donate to the channel, you can do so through many different avenues. Check out the description box for further details. It's all greatly appreciated, collective. It is my only income, so the more the merrier. I'm trying to save the world here. Nobility. And to the ones that, yeah, you're headed for a glow up, collective. To the ones that are kind of reluctant to show up and actually get readings, you know, you got the money to get the readings, but you're a little bit scared, you're a little bit intimidated by what I might say. Don't be intimidated. As long as you show up in good intention, we're gonna get you on track. That's the whole point. Okay? I'm not gonna be here to rip you apart like I do the karmics. That's not the way that I do things, even if you are karmic. It's the accountability, it's the recognition, it's you taking your own responsibility and stepping into your most highest timeline. That's going to take you taking some action. But that is totally 100% up to you on taking that action. I'm not twisting your arm with anything. I'm trying to inspire you in a new direction that's going to benefit you long term. I don't think short game, I think long game. Okay? So what I try to steer you into is going to be more of a benefit for you long term than it would be short term. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit of work. But that takes you showing up with me, to me, honestly. Because if you're going to lie to me, you're only lying to yourself. And in my coaching sessions, instead of me reading your mind and telling you what you need to do without knowing your full situation, I want to get a little bit more of a backstory. I want to get to know you so that way I can intuitively dig deeper for you. And the way that I do that is by you being honest with me. So that way I can be honest with you back. But if you're going to show up in a deceptive way or whatever else, I don't want your business. If you're showing up to sabotage me, I don't want your dirty money. I don't want your dirty shit. I don't want your energy. I don't want nothing to do with you. Okay? Because I got bigger fish to fry. Alright? And I don't need to be dealing with your dumbass karmic bullshit. So save your money. This takes a lot out of me to do what I do. Okay? And I can't do that and have a full-time job and go and do this and do that, and I'm having a hard enough time just surviving. Okay? So all the help and support is greatly appreciated. I'm not sitting here begging, but I'm saying, like, look, I'm trying to show up for you. But are you ready to show up for yourself? So, am I asking you for donations? Sure. If you got it to give, it's greatly appreciated. If you want to make me work for it, order a reading. The Hipsy links are there. If you can't get access to it through the description box, go to my links section on my YouTube channel and all the links are there. It should be. So collective nobility is coming out with the fact that you're going to be celebrating your accomplishments. Okay, you're very, 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 you're a very humble individual. There is going to be a crown of success for you. Okay? Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless, and you're in the possibility of having a huge new opportunity come in. There's going to be a new career, successful business showing up for you. Okay? And I'm being told the weeks to come are going to be very significant. And this is divinely protected. So these numbskull degenerates thinking that they're going to get at you, they've already been disconnected. Please try your call again. This is a recording. You need to continue to persevere, sharing your message, doing your shadow work, okay, in order to heighten your protection. And you have the supernatural at the helm to help you with that. Okay? All right. The happiness card reversed. What's this one about? Waves, emotions, worry, and fear. So this is what they're trying to do. They want you in your emotions, they want you worried, and they want you in fear. Okay? This is what they're thinking on this isolation is for, right? And it's all because you are looking into the divine direction. This is why they want you isolated. Because by you looking into the divine direction, you're going to be meeting a soulmate. You're going to be meeting your soul tribe. You're going to be stepping into that divine energy, which is going to bring you solid connections that nothing can break. Okay, so this is why they're trying to pull you down into your shadow again. So that way you can't access that realm and that frequency of existence. This is why they're trying to pull you back down into this shit. Okay, because you're out of it now. And they're facing consequences for their bad choices. Okay? So they want you exhausted, they want you burnt out, they want you burdened, they want you feeling empty, but you're full as can be by divine love. Okay? You're no longer burdened, you're no longer burnt out like you were. You're actually getting rest now. And all of this shit that they want for you, they're the ones being exhausted. They're the ones in their emotions. They're the ones in worry and fear. And this is why they're trying to project this onto you, to make you feel this for them. Because they don't feel they should take on this karma. Because you were their scapegoat, remember? So they're trying to project this onto you energetically. If you've cut them off physically, they're trying to get at you energetically. Okay? Anything else about the happiness reverse? Yeah, you ripped their fucking mask off, collective. Right? And this whole experience taught you to stand in your authenticity of who you are, too. Yep. You ripped their fucking mask off, and now that they see you for who they are, they want to rebuild this bridge to get back in your energy. It's almost kind of giving me a feeling like they want to finish what they started. It's like they want to rip you apart and they want to shatter you for good this time. Like, this is an energy that you friend zone. This is an energy that you cut off. Like, you're no longer interested in having any type of connection with this person. Like, you might have even beyond friend zone. Maybe, like, you're just not, you're disconnected from this person. 404 error. And I think the divine is protecting you from this energy as well. And I think this person's lost their protection. This is why they want to try to get back in your energy, because they feel if they can get back in your good graces, they're going to have some sort of protection. And I'm really picking up that they're a third party to a bigger, deeper situation. Okay? these are one of the people that were actually all for the money. One for the money, two for the show, three to get ready, and four go. Like maybe there's an Elvis reference to this particular person. So whatever action that they're going to take, we're going to look into that. But let's see. Self-reliance. Oh, I got to put these back in. Self-reliance, reversed. I'm going to go over these with the tarot. Hopeless, lost, depressed, suicide. So they wanted you to off yourself. They wanted you to be to the point where you had to rely on other people and you were hopeless, and they wanted you to look like you were needy, that you were desperate, and that you just off yourself. If we needed any more of a confirmation, there it is. What about rebirth? So your rebirth into the divinity is, it's too fucking late for these karmics. I'm telling you that right now. Okay? It's too late. Yeah, you're not in this, you're not in the moment for, they're trying to bring your vibe down, right? All the while you're stepping into your divinity. Yeah. Because you're stepping into your divinity, they want you to be in low vibes. They don't want you to be living in the moment. They want you to be living in the past. Okay? It's almost as if they're going to be threatening some sort of legal action to have you at a loss, have you depressed, having you wanting to end your life. This is the whole thing. Okay, so maybe this is something to do with the action, but this is regarding your rebirth. Again, they want you feeling hopeless, lost, depressed, and suicidal. You do not deserve a vacation. You do not deserve the ability to heal. This is what they're telling me right now. As far as I'm, like, is the karmics, right? That's what the karmics are saying. You don't deserve to heal. And again, if you are vibing with this extended part 2, and you haven't went and checked out the post on my post section here on YouTube, there's a spiritual message there right at the top. You might want to check that out, because this is in pertain to that we are clarifying right now. Just for the noobs that haven't went that far yet. You can always come back and rewind this. Just make sure that you know what time it's sitting at, and then just know your numbers to go from there. So the Divine's got you recharging, breathing and letting go, clearing your mind, So you could have taken some time off to do that. I know for me, there was definitely a shift over the weekend. Huge. Yeah, you're definitely no longer head in the clouds. There's no delusion here. There's no hopes and dreams. And this whole delusional bullshit, they were trying to say that you were delusional, that you had your head in the clouds, that you were just dreaming, and, you know, it was just fear and just delusional. That's what they were saying about you. And I have a feeling these people are being investigated. And they outright lied to the investigators. Okay? They outright lied and gaslit the investigators. To basically say that you were incompetent, that you've lost your mind, that you lost a couple screws, or there's a couple screws loose. And that's actual defamation of character, collective. And I have a feeling that people are going to notice that. People are going to see that. People are going to acknowledge that you're not Delulu. People are going to see that you do lead with good intention and integrity and authenticity. If they have a brain cell in their head, they're going to figure that out. If they don't, you're going to know who you're dealing with. The proof is in the pudding. Anything else about this rebirth? Yeah. So they were making it like you were stuck, that you were hitting a dead end, that there was some sort of frozenness. That's... The divine is a very, very magical energy, okay? And the divine likes to play with glamour magic. So all of this isolation, all of this stagnant energy, all of this dead end, you know, you're frozen in time, all those freezer spells that they did on you behind your back, thinking that they were going to work, and all this stagnance and da-da-da-da-da, it's all glamour magic. The divine is just letting the illusion play out. Okay? I'm going to say that much. And by the way, collective, I'm going to do this over, I'm going to clarify more with tarot too, as well. Okay? So just keep that in mind. So these people that were saying that you were delusional, they're actually being investigated now. Because they are being put on the list for suspects. Okay? So these very well people could have called it in, made a report about you, and they just didn't bother reaching out to you, or they tried to reach out to you and there was a no answer, or whatever the case may be. Suffering in silence, yeah. Legal, paranoid, cautious, insecure, guarded, lawyers, court, and paperwork. So somebody's going to be very, very paranoid at the fact that they're being investigated. And they're being very, they're very insecure, being guarded, cautious. Because they are being investigated. It's the way it is. And somebody's seeing that, somebody's paranoid at the fact that you're cutting out the drama. Somebody's cautious and guarded at the fact that you've cut them out. Somebody's actually a little bit confused as to why you're cutting them out. Hey, John. Thank you so much for that donation. Can you check out the description box, please? Thank you. Action? What kind of action is being taken? Oh, okay. I'm really picking up on like an energy, oh, they shouldn't be talking to you like that. You know, you're their family. You're like, as a mother, they should be respecting you more. Meanwhile, they pretty well got a hit out on your life and stole a whole bunch of money and everything else. But you're supposed to talk to them with more respect. Like, really, wrap it around your head. Okay? Any which way you want. Okay? But I feel like these karmics are being forced to apologize. But on the other hand, I think they're going to try to make it out to be the fact that you have to apologize to the karmics for what you did, for what you called out, right? For what you've said, and you don't regret a word, collective. You didn't fucking stutter. So it's almost as if the karmics are taking action and they kind of want to change their tune. They don't want you to be a dirty little secret anymore. They want it out in the open because they had a third party, right? And they want this polyamorous bullshit to fly. And they want you to be a part of it. So they want to come in and apologize with their fucking tails between their legs, thinking that they're going to get somewhere. Spirit's saying something about you showing them the ropes as to how to heal out of their karmic energy. It's like they're going to submit to you and they're going to appease you. They should have thought of that before trying to destroy you. Probably, you know, probably a good assumption. But, you know, the fact that they're coming in with a possible apology, I'd at least hear it out. Unless they're like a sadistic sociopath or psychopath, then I'd just be like, oh, yeah, we whatever you need to say, we can talk on the phone. You know? And if it's anything that's out of your caliber, if they say anything out of tune, you can hang up the phone. You know, you don't have to entertain that bullshit. But out of unity for the collective humanity, hear them out. Because maybe they've had an enlightenment period. And if they haven't, they're gonna show up that way. You're gonna know, and then that's when you just say, okay, well, I'm done with this conversation. You know, you don't have to, you know, give them 5 minutes. You have 5 fucking minutes to make it or break it, and I will decide at that 5 minutes whether or not I continue speaking with you. But I'll give you 5 minutes to say whatever the fuck you need to say. So start fucking talking. Okay? What's this about the community? It's almost as if the community is going to protect you. There's the community around them that's even protecting you. They're telling them to lay off, whoever this person is. Because I see what they're doing behind the scenes. What's the community card? So I will be clarifying this with tarot too as well. Yeah, so they're going with the community. They're trying to take away the the harmony, the balance, and peace and happiness within a community. This community card is showing up in the upright. Okay, so if there was a bad intentioned community, I would see this in reverse. Okay, with the community. But they're trying to bring disharmony to a community. Okay? And I have a feeling there may be hopelessness, loss, depression, and suicide, right? So they don't want somebody empowering. They want them being hopeless. And maybe they want you to be seen in disharmony and hopeless within your own community. Okay? So like the way this comes out to me in my situation is they basically want me to be in shambles on my channel and feeling suicidal, because then that's entertainment for them. That's how sadistic these people are. Right? But yet I come on here and I empower myself and I call out all this shit instead. You want to know how infuriating that is for them? Of course they're going to call and make stupid false reports on me. Of course I'm going to trigger the fuck out of them. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing it on purpose. I grew up with a bunch of fucking narcissists. You think I don't know the playbook by now? I'm not outright saying that I'm a narcissist. I'm not. But I know the playbook. I know how they play it. And you can play the narc book right back at them. And the one way that you can flip the tables on a narcissist is discard them first. And if they go to discard you, know that the discard is coming and know that that is your out. But when you take your out as let them discard you, right? So let them discard you. Let them think that they're walking away from you. Let them think that you're going to be helpless without them. Right? Because they pretty well make it to where you're helpless anyway before you leave. They leave you in destitute. So make them think that. Make them feel that. And when they go to discard you, that's when you're out. That's when they give you your out. That's when you leave. That's when you don't look back. They're going to try to prolong it as much as possible. They're going to try to destroy you after, because you're not going to hoover back. You're not going to come back in. You're not going to, they're expecting you to come back. They want you to come back begging. Because then it makes them feel powerful that you're finally submitting. And that's what they've been trying to do for decades, trying to disempower me, trying to rip me apart, trying to bring me down to nothing till I'm pretty well dead in a ditch. For me to go back and submit and do whatever the fuck they want. It's not happening. I'm moving on with my life. They've been doing this all my life. But since my near-death experience, I've been divinely protected. Because they've upped the ante. And because of that, I'm going through major fucking upgrades. So when I take a couple days off, when I choose to not be seen as on camera, it's because I'm going through upgrades. I don't want this extra plummet of attacks because they get to see me, because they get to look at me and whatever else. By being behind the camera, it gives me more protection. So the ones that would rather see my ugly mug, I'm sorry, not happening. You want that? You got to become a member. because I'm gonna start be doing more members content, more collectives for the member side. So come join us over there. It's very calm, cool, collected, no trolls, no bullshit. And it's actually a great fucking time if people show up. So the challenge is to recognize what's toxic, recognize what's drama, recognize what arguments and the incompatibilities are, and snuff them out as you know. Okay? They're trying to take action to bring disharmony and to bring you to a loss. And the toxicity is the fact that you're expelling this, right? And all of this whole thing is to bring you out of this glow up. They don't want you to have this new opportunity. They don't want you to have this new career because it makes you untouchable. They can't screw with it. Okay, so they're doing absolutely everything and anything to get back in your energy so that way they can gain access to something and bring an end to it. It's nothing more than that. Okay, so be careful who you let into your energy collective. What's this protector? What's the card of the protector? Yeah. They want you to protect them from taking on these bad choices they made. These games and these mixed signals. So they're playing games with you. Okay? They don't want you to be prepared. So they're going to catch you off guard. Right? But they don't want to take consequences for the bad choices they made, the games that they played, the mixed signals, right? And they want you to protect. They want you to protect them against the karma that they're having, and they're not prepared to receive it either. I'm gonna tell you that much. Okay? They don't want to have to face your protection, the aftermath of the chaos of your protection. And they're scared. They should be petrified. Why do you think I'm so devoted? Why do you think I'm so strict with my, with my standards? The divine has never betrayed me, not once. And these motherfuckers are thinking that they're gonna poke the bear to try to think that they're gonna get me to not think that I'm not going to trust in the divine, that I know that, the divine's got me, that my ancestors got me. And it's the same for you, collective, the ones that are resonating with this message. They should be fucking petrified. They should be. What's the miracles in reverse? What's the opposite of a miracle? Can anybody tell me in the comments? I would think a nightmare. Suffering in silence? No, you're speaking up, collective. They wanted you lost, feeling hopeless, depressed, suicidal. But you're not egotistical. You're not an opportunist. You're not fragile. You're very strong. You're definitely not a fucking narcissist. Okay? And I think they're trying to make you out to be one. But you're not. You're farthest from it. You've had to deal with a lot of fucking narcissists. You know the narcissistic handbook off by heart at this point. Because you pretty well grew up with it with your family. Being a scapegoat. So you could pretty well teach it at this point. But you're combating against it. You're trying to banish these motherfuckers. And I think that's what you're doing. And the thing is that they're screaming at the fact that you're breaking free from this. You're making them feel hopeless. You're breaking their fucking ego, collective. You're sending them into a fucking tailspin. I'm telling you that right now. Mastery in the reverse. I know I am. I'm doing it on purpose. I totally know what I'm doing. When I'm calling shit out, I totally know what I'm doing. Just like a narcissist does. But I'm doing it to empower rather than disgrace. That's the difference. Mastery, reverse. They thought they could gain authority over you. And they could make you look like you weren't doing meditation, that you weren't practicing self-care, that you weren't introspective, you know, that you weren't healing. Somebody tried to take authority over that and tried to ruin that healing. To bring you out of this mastery in the reverse. Somebody wasn't too fucking clever. I'll tell you that right now. Because they can't play these games anymore. You pretty well put them in their place. You've taken control over this whole situation. And a lot of these lies saying that you were just, you know, you're just talking out of your ass. You know, you didn't really know what the hell you were talking about. You're delusional, da-da-da-da-da. People are starting to see different. There's some people digging a little deeper, and I'm thinking authority figures. Okay, there's some sort of an investigation coming in to show and to see and to point out to them, whoever these karmics are, that they were behind all of the sabotage. Okay, because there's evidence of it. Right? And they're trying to project it and switch it. So you're the fucking problem. You're the reason for all of these outbursts behind the scenes. Meanwhile, it's you triggering the fuck out of them to the point where they lose their shit. Because they can't handle the truth. But somehow they're reporting saying that this is your fault. That this happened, that this happened, that happened, that this happened. Meanwhile, you're triggering the motherfuckers into absolute oblivion. And now they're getting caught up. They're literally getting caught up. So this is them not being so fucking clever with what they were trying to do. Trying to diminish you, trying to take away your message, trying to, you know, they're very much persevering at this. They kept doing it. They kept doing it. Now they're sitting there absolutely embarrassed at the fact that people are starting to find this shit out. Well, all because you took control of the situation, collective, and you didn't even have to. You just spoke your truth. And you're shutting these people down. Right? Now they're powerless. They don't got no fucking power. Power in reverse. Yeah. They think that they're going to regain their power by coming in. Second chance, deja vu. They want to rekindle old times. But you're not playing these dumbass games anymore, collective. So they're near empty. Their battery life, their essence of life, you were their best supply. Okay? You were their best supply. Yeah. They can't run away and they can't run to you. How anxious does that make them feel? They can't escape what they've done. They can't make excuses for what they've done. They can't sit there in denial for what they've done because everybody else seen it. Everybody else seen what they did. You know, they're probably sitting there watching me behind the scenes. They're sitting there watching me. Hi. Hi, how you doing? You know? Literally livid at the fact that I played them at their own fucking game. I literally played them at their own game. And I didn't have to lift a finger. Had they healed instead of focused on your life, collective, they would be in a totally different timeline right now. Had they actually heeded your advice and did the fucking work, they would be so much farther than where they are right now. You want to talk about feeling behind, they're the ones feeling behind because they're losing, they're totally distracted by you. Okay? Totally distracted. So all this time that you're feeling that you're losing out on, that you're falling behind, that's them projecting that onto you because they're behind now. They've lost track of who they are. They've lost track of their whole fucking life. Because that's what they wanted for you. Okay, so all of this feeling behind, that's them projecting it on you. It's not even yours. Okay, so you can let that go. You're right on time. If you're in alignment with the divine, you're right on time. The divine is orchestrating anything and everything in your path, so just work towards it. Papa Lugba is even dancing along with the divine. Would you believe it? It's a big old party on the other side right now because these karmics are getting put in their place already, and they will be very, very soon. It is imminent. Time is imminent. Okay? Divine timing is everything. So they can't run, they can't hide. They can run all they want. They just can't hide. Okay? Always prepared to reverse. Yeah, they weren't prepared. They were not prepared for this at all. The fact that you demask them, the fact that you recognize the abuse, the conniving, unpredictable bullshit that they were, that you recognize that they were trying to get you over your head, you're overextended and hitting rock bottom. They wanted to basically drown you. And they were going to do it again. They were wanting a second chance, but you said, no, I'm done playing this game. Got the t-shirt, bumper sticker, fucking cookies, and it tasted disgusting. So you're on to new and better things. And yeah, they weren't prepared for that. They were thinking you were coming back. And now they're cautious and insecure and guarded, right? That you played them at their own game. And you're not even bitter about it. Because you understand they're coming from an unhealed position, right? It's like you played them at their own game. They feel played. The player felt the player feels played. Would you believe it? Could you imagine? Yeah. Now they stand corrected. They want to come in. They want you to drop your boundaries, because they want to work on this divine connection that you apparently have with them. Meanwhile, it's just about greed and inconsiderate bullshit. They're karmic. Okay, but they're going to come in trying to escape their accountability because they're losing absolutely everything, collective. And right now, you might be mirroring them in order for the divine to show you what they're going through. So this stagnance is basically them projecting onto you, but they're just mirroring you what they're going through. So what you could be going through right now, they're going through. And you've got the lighter side. You're not actually having to deal with the reality of it all. You're dealing with the anxiety of it all. So that way you feel that they're actually going through something. This is, again, the divine's way of projecting, and this is the way the divine allows you to know what's going on. But you have to be in tune with it. Is it your energy or is it somebody else's energy? This is why you need to be in alignment to recognize what is your energy and what is somebody else's. Right? And a way that you do that, does your current reality match the energetic frequency that you're feeling? If it doesn't, chances are you're being projected onto. You're being blasted by energy and evil eye. When you have a really bad thought come over your mind, like you just want to go jump off a bridge, that's them projecting onto you. It's not depression. It's not anxiety. It's them sending you spiritual warfare. Okay? This is where health and this is where science taps into spirituality. This is where a lot of these health conditions that we so-called have is actually spiritual warfare. And the moment we open our brains to that, that changes the whole playfield. It's either we become warriors and we rise up, or we become victims and dependent on the system. Okay? So they're losing absolutely everything and they're running from accountability. All because you demasked a psychopath. Courageously. Expeditiously. What's the assertive in reverse? Yeah. So this could very well be resulting from a feminine mother figure. I'm really picking up on. Because we got mothering, nurturing, gentleness, and feminine energy in reverse. Wishful thinking, second chances, deja vu, nostalgia in reverse. There's lust here, there's daydreaming, head in the clouds, there's disharmony. So the lust, though, it's accompanied with greed by any means necessary and inconsiderates. All right? So I'm not really picking up a lust energy from this situation. I'm thinking more of like very, very greedy. Their lust for greed by any means necessary, inconsiderate. I think this is the one that wants you dead in a ditch somewhere. Okay? This is somebody that's brought you a lot of disharmony in your life. Okay? They've literally tried to create a delusion in your life. Okay? And it's turned out to be very transmutable to you. So you've transmuted a lot of this. You've transmuted a lot of this trauma into power. Okay? This person wants a second chance, wants to come at you again. They want, they want to get back in your energy to rip you apart. Okay? This is a very wishy-washy energy. One minute they're going to be compassionate, the next minute they're going to try to be very, very toxic. Okay? And there's going to start arguments, there's going to start drama, very incompatible energy. You've ascended higher, way higher, like you don't need this energy anymore. But it's like an old mother figure coming in to siphon off of you, yet again. And this person was not assertive. This person was extremely passive, very submissive. And this person does not want you to be submissive, or to be, the divine does not want you to be submissive to this energy, that's for sure. But they do not want you to be assertive. They want you to submit to what they have to say. right? And what they want. And they've got their heads in the clouds and they're delusional. They have some sort of hope and dream that they can come into your life because they're not happy, and they think that by you going back into their life again, that there's going to be some sort of happiness. They want to create some sort of happiness by reconnecting or having a second chance. There is no second chance with this energy. Okay, I don't give a fuck if they're a mother or not. Okay, because you had a lot of healing to do regarding this person. This person does not want to come in and nurture you. Okay, and this person tried to bring you to your demise, and now they're feeling guilty for it. They're feeling shame because this is like their own blood that they did this to. All for greed and money. So there's a whole community of people that they instructed and they infiltrated and they deceived in order to come across this development and this where it sits today in reality. So this person is sitting with a lot of shame at this point. Very well could be running. All right, Mystical Forest, is there any messages that we have for the collective for this current reading? Is there any messages for my collective regarding this reading? Give me a second here. Really? Hacked my phone, and they're making my phone die. Interesting. So it looks like we're going to go for part 3 soon. So they do not want you to have any instant manifestations, and they do not want you to be beautiful. They do not want you holding beauty. They do not want you knowing that you're beautiful. Okay? So this is the opposite of what the card says. When you insist that the world is hostile and others are your enemies, don't be surprised that it is so. Self-fulfilling prophecies fortunately work both ways. But this isn't a self-fulfilling prophecy, collective. Okay? This isn't a self-fulfilling prophecy. Alright? This is somebody trying to sabotage you. Soul and mind working together create a dream in the heart. You have nothing to lose. You carry the dream. Your intention is pure. Be ready to receive. So they don't want you connecting with your soul and mind working together. They want you unbalanced. They do not want you to create a dream. They don't want you to have any type of anything. Right? You have everything to lose at this point. That's what they want. You carry, you know, they don't want you carrying any dreams. They don't want your intentions to be pure. They don't want you to be ready to receive abundance and instant manifestations. This is why they're doing what they're doing. They don't want you getting what you want. Ultimately, the divine is making it to be your decision. All right? They don't want you having a new chapter. Okay? They don't. You need to rejuvenate yourself. Know your limits and allow them to guide you. Limitations can teach you to take better care of yourself. You have full permission to rest and to say no. So, Spirit doesn't want you acting. You don't have to know everything in advance. Take the first step and watch it all unfold. You can deal with whatever your path reveals. You are ready. So if somebody doesn't want you to act, somebody doesn't want you to be ready to act, somebody does not want you to take action, they want it to be a challenge for you to take action, and they don't want you staying true to yourself. The need for validation from others is an illusion, and I don't need to know validation from anybody. I'm more or less asking validation is just give it a minute. Yeah, now you're saying sorry. If it's not one thing, it's another, collective. Is it still going? If it's not one thing, it's another, collective. It's still going. So we're just going to keep going. It's not showing up on my phone. So you have to make a decision, collective. When you give to yourself freely, you expand your energy. If you only give to get, it will feel like a burden or drain. Be genuine. Give from your heart. Energetic pull. Listen to the divine energetic pull. Okay? You guys are uncertain? Listen to the divine energetic pull. The divine energetic pull is going to pull you in the right direction as to where you need to go. Okay? A true master knows that you create through your actions. Do not hesitate when you feel the energy pulling you. Follow it fearlessly and move worlds. This is how you step into your new timelines, collective. Okay? If something don't feel right, listen to it. Okay? It just could be a Decepticon trying to deceive you. Alright? So right now might not be the time to act. Right now, the divine might be making it look like you're not going into a new chapter. Okay? You are at the process of your demise. Okay? And that you're looking pretty fucking ugly at this point. Your life is looking pretty fucking ugly. Okay? And that might be what it's looking like. It might be looking like there's no instant manifestations, that everything is falling apart, and yada da 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 da. Okay? However, I'm telling you this right now, the divine's got other plans. This very well could just be glamour magic. Because the divine's got a sense of humor. Okay? And it might look one way, but eventually you're going to see why the divine put it the way that they put it. Okay? The spirit works in mysterious ways. And it's got one hell of a sense of humor. And I'm being told to tell you to stock up on popcorn. Because shit's about to get interesting. Alright, collective? Shit's about to get interesting. Yeah, somebody in my messages thinking that they can just call me up. Anybody and their brother knows enough. If they're going to call me just out of the blue, you best be checking my channel to see if I'm live first. Anybody and their brother knows this, right? Because if I'm live, you're getting put on a list you don't want to be on if you're going to come in and interrupt my live. And I don't want to put you there. So, come on now. Anyway. Supernatural. Tell me what I need to know about the Supernatural card. Good, bad, everything. Supernatural. Alright, so we got the Three of Feathers in the reverse, the Seven of Acorns, and the Wheel of Fortune. So somebody wanted to bring you to your demise, bring about some major change, to rid you of your possibilities and choice. They didn't want you to have any choice. They didn't want your wheel even moving. They wanted to destroy your wheel. However, you stood on business with this collective, and you've released this. The Three of Swords in reverse. You've recovered. You've healed. You've released this betrayal. You've released all this shit. You've stood up for this. You've put your boundaries down. You've put your foot down. You've set your standards and you've set your boundaries for this. Whatever the case may be, you're in the right here, okay? The supernatural world works with you, okay? So they do not misunderstand you one bit, okay? The supernatural side of things, okay? This is really showing your ranking, okay, of your determination and your stamina, okay? And they tried to bring a bad reputation to you regarding the supernatural and regarding what you do, okay? So the thing is that now they have to reconcile with you because somebody's been studying you. They have to reconcile this whole idea of you not having a ten of crystals. They have to reconcile this whole idea of ruining your stability. They have to reconcile this whole thing on making you to not attain this stability. And you've stood on business this whole time. Right? You've cut them out and they're still trying behind the scenes. There's record of this. And they're having to somehow reconcile on this. The Page of Acorns, somebody's discovering something regarding this. Somebody's been investigating.